back. This is John.
And it's Eric.
And it's What If Geeks. We got no Paul again. This time, let's see, what's today? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's the 12th. It's November 12th. We are here because November 12th is also the launch of Disney Plus.
Yay.
So this happens to coincide with our recording day. So this is going to be all about Disney Plus and maybe one show in particular that I think everybody's talking about on the internet. We got no Paul. He's out of town. And then next week you're going to be out of town. So we're going to drop some old shit. We'll kind of figure out what we're going to drop later. But outside of that, get ready for this one.
I got my mouse shirt on.
Ready to go.
Celebrating the launch.
Disney Plus. All right. So overall, Disney Plus launched today, right? The download was around, what, yeah, you said 6:30?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
They had a countdown timer on their website. I think it was about 6:30. I don't know. I didn't download it till 7:30, but
Yeah, I want to say it was right around 6:30 because I got up, got Mika ready for school. Oh, got ready. Made sure she knocked on her door, made sure she was awake. And then I went and brushed my teeth. By the time I got downstairs, it was almost 7. And I went on and I was able to download it. And it was cool because I was able to download it to my TV here in the living room and to my Apple device. So I was able to bring that up to the Apple TV device, up to the other TV for Heather, because, you know, Heather's kind of hanging out in the bedroom most of the time after her surgery. We'll get more on that later. That's part of the story I want to tell you.
okay. So, we can do that first before we hop into this if you want.
Oh, no, it's got to do with Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, I was able to download it on my Android phone, my iPhone, my regular and my 4K Amazon Fire Sticks. And then I went to my Android TV and I was looking for the app and it wasn't there. And I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? And then like 10 minutes later, I got a notification saying your software needs to be updated. Hit the update and then boom, it was there. So it all worked. The only issue I had, I really didn't have any issues, but the only thing I noticed was that when you first log into the phone, right, and you get the Disney Plus app up or whatever, when I go then log into my Amazon device, it says you can log in with user and password, which I hate doing on that little remote.
Yeah.
Or it says you can open it on your phone, and it'll happen automatically. That was not working for me.
Okay, yeah, I didn't try it. It wanted me to do it too, but I logged in with the TV remote.
I couldn't get it to do it. So then I had to, unfortunately I have three Fire Sticks, but 2 that I downloaded on this morning.
Of course you do.
And both of them I had to manually type in the username and password, which I really didn't want to do. But other than that, no hiccups. Everything worked great. I was able to stream regular. I was able to stream 4K. The app is virtually identical on all the platforms. There's like no difference that I noticed really.
Right.
It's set up the same across it. And that's one thing I find annoying about Netflix is that depending on which device you're on, you got like a completely different layout and setup.
Yeah. So yeah, it is good. And what I did notice, and what Heather noticed too, was that initially there was a few things here, like where it said like 90s throwbacks was one of the
categories
they had.
I don't know what you call it.
But it was blank.
Oh, it was blank?
It was just like a bunch of blank windows, and then like later on in the day, it was up there. So very, very small, minute issue. There was a couple of them in there, but then also what I noticed was in the categories that were there, like Disney Classics or whatever, blah, 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 from the morning before Noah went to school to later on in the afternoon when I logged back on and looked at it, there was more. So they're steady dropping. But I think there's a reason for that. Because how many times has something like this crashed the internet? Yeah. So I think they're trying to do it smart and like steadily.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the app itself was really small, so there's no way that all the titles are included in the app. It has to download that after you open it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that said, I didn't really look extensively this morning when I downloaded it. I just kind of scrolled through real quick, get a feel for how it works. I didn't try to watch anything. I wasn't really paying attention to the titles. But.
Yeah, me too. I turned on the first couple minutes of The Mandalorian just to check it out and see that it worked, and we'll get to that a little more in depth here in a few minutes. So yeah, what we did do is because Noah was getting ready for school, and Heather managed to come downstairs. For those of you who have not been paying attention, Heather had a full-on hysterectomy last Friday, so she's already been home and she's already navigated the steps, up from the bedroom downstairs to the living room a couple times now. So she's healing pretty well, And she comes downstairs and we're watching, I'm letting her and Noah scroll through while I'm getting his stuff ready for school, right? and they picked a little cartoon. There's a cartoon short on there. There's a bunch of shorts on there, a lot.
Yeah.
They picked one at random, and I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't want to ruin it for anybody, so you can just kind of go into it surprised. But it's about a dog and a cat, and they're kind of like they have a little tumultuous relationship in the beginning, and then they become friends and basically escape a bad situation, and it ends with them finding like a loving owner, right? Mm-hmm. Or loving owners or whatever. Like they find somebody that is going to love them, and out of nowhere, I'm getting Noah's lunch ready, and I hear from the living room, I hear Heather go, "Stupid fucking cartoon!" And those of you who've listened to me talk about my wife and I, she's not very emotional ever. So her hormones that the doctor's given her are fully working. And she's bawling her eyes out. And Noah's sitting on the couch giving her like a side eye and like smirking like, "You all right?" It was fucking hilarious. It was like the best thing I've seen in 5 years. She's crying. She's flipping me off like, "Shut up, leave me alone." I'm like, "You're going to be all right." And then like 2 hours later, after Noah was in school, she was up in the bed, laying down, relaxing a little bit. And she's watching Disney Plus again. She's watching that Noel Christmas or whatever, right? That one,
yeah.
The
Noell.
The girl Santa Claus, whatever. Mm-hmm. And she's fucking crying again. I didn't catch it at first. I walked in and she flipped me off as I was walking into the bedroom to check on her. And I was like, "What? Oh." She's not doing good with these emotions. It's hilarious.
I'm sure she'll get used to it. It's probably an adjustment period.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there is. She's like, "Something's not working right." And I'm like, "No, you just have emotions now. You cold-hearted bitch." She's so mad at me. Oh, my God. It was great. So that was fun. That was the story I had to tell you. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that is funny.
Stupid fucking cartoon. Yeah.
Could go poorly for us. I hope she gets used to it quick.
Oh, yeah, I hope so.
She'll be out here stomping us because we're too loud doing podcasts.
Yeah, pretty much. Give her a second. So it was a cute one. There was there's a lot of shit on there. A lot.
Yeah, there's actually an incredible amount. I was looking at Forbes put out a list of everything that was on there. I mean, it's thousands of titles. It's crazy. And there's so much old stuff, new stuff, taking stuff out of the vault.
Mickey Through the Years.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It starts from Steamboat Willie, and each of the links is like a closer and closer to current age, obviously, through the years, duh. But, yeah, it looked so cool. I was like, I remember that one. So, yeah, a lot of it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So, the way they set it up, for anybody that hasn't looked yet, it's very Netflix-like in the sense that it has, like, ribbons or banners or whatever you want to call them, and you side scroll across the titles.
Yeah, and it's all those little window looking.
Yeah, and it's like big pictures of the movie title or of a scene in it or whatever.
Yeah.
With just the title, so there's no description on the front end like Amazon does. You have to like click into it to actually see.
Yeah.
To read about it or whatever, which I think for Disney that works perfectly fine because they have so many known. I recognize almost everything in the list.
Yeah, and if you're going to copy anything, that one part of Netflix is the thing you copy. You know, it goes back to if it's not broke, don't fix it.
So at the top, they have like popular brands that you can immediately click on and get to stuff like Star Wars, Marvel, whatever. But then if you scroll down a little further, it's like categorized like trending, stuff that was most popular in theaters, the shorts, like you said, stuff for kids. There's like a million categories, but recommended for you. I noticed right away after I watched The Mandalorian it was recommending all the Star Wars stuff for me. Yeah. So it keeps track of it.
Oh, I can't wait to get into like all the Lego Star Wars shit.
Yeah.
I know I've missed half of those.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I have too.
Yeah.
There's a vault section. There's a section for anything that's available 4K. Musicals. There's nostalgia. Got a bunch of old movies and stuff on it. Not cartoons, but like Disney movies. There's a shit ton of documentaries too.
Yeah, there are. Yeah. I want to get into some of like the National Geographic stuff eventually too. Cause
Nat Geo is actually one of the what do you call it? The prime categories at the top next to Marvel and Star Wars is Nat Geo.
Oh yeah,
and they got a ton of documentaries coming out that are not Nat Geo branded.
What was I going to say? Oh, there was an article right before we recorded. Oh well, I would say like 2 days before we recorded where Hulu was going to take some of the more adult themed stuff, like Deadpool and that kind of stuff, right? A lot of the Fox shit. And, of course, the picture had The Simpsons on it, too. But The Simpsons make the cut here. Like, they're here. Yeah, So all the episodes are there.
Yeah, 30 seasons of Simpsons or some shit.
So, because Heather was surprised, too, because she'd seen that article. She was like, I thought they were going to be on Hulu, but here they are.
They even did. Did you catch the ad? They did an ad with The Simpsons for Disney+.
That was amazing, and each one of them was a different part of the brand.
Yep.
One was Disney, one was Marvel, one was Star Wars, Nat Geo, and somebody was something else.
What is the other?
What's the last one?
Oh, Pixar.
Pixar.
Yeah.
Duh.
And Bart's on there, and he doesn't want to participate.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's Mickey.
Like it's for the money.
Put the nose on before I take yours off.
And then, of course, he moons the screen.
Yeah, and the little Disney Plus icon goes down. Yeah, covers his ass. It was funny. Yeah, it was cool. They're really embracing. So far, they seem to be embracing like the marriage of the two companies.
Yeah, they do. They really do. It's just to throw them in an ad actually says a lot, to be honest.
That's the second ad with them.
Is it the second ad with Simpsons? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't see the
first one. When the merger first happened, when Disney first bought Fox, they were standing on their front lawn, and they kind of did a similar thing where Homer was like, "Put on the ears, boy." You know, he's like, "We just want to thank our."
I do remember that. Yeah,
we're very excited. We just want to tell everybody how excited we are. And it was, I don't know, it was kind of funny, but we'll see.
So the internet was alight last night with Disney shouldn't have waited until launch day to let people download the app. Huge mistake. You're going to crash servers everywhere. It was smooth as fuck.
Yeah, like I said, the only little glitch I saw was like where a couple of those windows
titles were loading slow.
There were a couple of titles loading slow, and that was what Heather and I kind of like, everyone's on here right now. Mm-hmm. Like one, you went to go hit it, and it's like the content's not available right now. But like 5 minutes later, you go to click it, and no problem, you know. And then those two, whatever it was, the 90s throwback and whatever was beneath it, for me, all of those windows were straight blanks, like little blank windows. And I was like, well, all right, that's really weird. I was waiting to see if it would come back. I backed out, tried it again. It still didn't work, but 2 hours later, it was all there.
Well, anyway.
So but for a launch that big, understandable issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
it was so microscopic that it was.
Yeah, it really was nothing. It really wasn't. Not for me anyway. And I noticed too, I don't know what video compression they're using or whatever. Unlike Netflix, when you first load the show up, it's good quality from the get-go. It doesn't have on Netflix, when you pull something up, it starts off like standard def, and then it sort of like flickers and upgrades. This, at least what I watched, was high def from like instantly. It was just there.
Yeah.
The buffering was like, it wasn't even like 2 seconds.
Yep.
It was just done. I'm like, oh shit, that's different.
It was cool. I enjoyed it.
They put a watch list feature on there, so you can follow series and stuff, and it'll notify you when there's new episodes.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to play with that.
Yeah, so go add Mandalorian to your watch list. It's the next one's supposed to be on the 15th, I think.
Okay,
but
cool.
If it tells you, it'll make life easier.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look some of it up because I know somebody had a vague schedule for this one.
And
then I know you got upcoming shows. The Forbes list. Not I don't want to send anyone to another site, but maybe when we do like a little bit of a write-up on Disney Plus, we can include that on our write-up so people have something to go to.
Yeah, there's just so many titles, and we can scroll through here and talk about a few of them. It has profiles, which is nice. Also like Netflix, although I don't think there's a limit. On Netflix, you're limited to 4 profiles, I believe. Yeah.
Now, I also want to, on the profile side of things, I want to look at the last few articles that I've read on Disney Plus and now Netflix too. They're all teaming up on the password sharing thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how that's going to work. Like I didn't have a problem within my own house.
Yeah. So the way Disney is doing the profiles on the app, it's just like, so if you log in as you and it remembers what you watch and keeps track and gives you recommendations, you can create a second profile for like Noah.
Right.
And then as long as he remembers to pick that one when he logs in, it'll track what he watches and recommend different stuff, right, sure. And it won't be all mixed up.
Okay.
Because our Netflix, we have profiles on our Netflix too, but our kids never pay attention, and then they watch a bunch of shit on our profile. And they.
But I'm wondering what they're going to do about the password sharing.
I don't know.
Unless it's like maybe it's an IP geography type of thing.
I have no idea.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if I share my password with you, you're right down the street.
Yeah.
But if I share it with my brother, who lives all the way up the coast, maybe that's what they catch? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know how.
But I know that the last article I read that, and I'm not saying I'm doing that. We're hypothesizing. I'm trying to figure out how they're going to do it because it's part of the conversation that we have to have. They apparently, the last article I read, they're teaming up with Netflix and Amazon and like the big companies. And that's the one thing, like, while they're competing with each other, the one thing they're teaming up for under this one umbrella, I forget what the name of it is, but this company's working with all of them to try to streamline that shit. It'll be fun to watch, but I mean, I don't care because I'll just pay for it.
Probably some DRM conglomeration or whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be weird. So,
I'm not sure.
Anyway.
I mean, Netflix's solution to that was to basically limit the number of devices, right? Once you've put 5 things, once you put 5 different devices on your Netflix account, then at that point it's hard.
Yeah, that's how I found out my brother was signed into my Netflix account on my friend's house. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I can't sign on my TV, and I'm looking at who's signed on, and finally I figured it out. I'm like, who the hell do we know? And like, whatever. Yeah, okay. Because my brother wanted to go visit him, and he was like on my account. So, all right. So let's move on to upcoming shows, so we can kind of breeze through some of this shit. So the upcoming shows. All right. Well, anything else that or did you only watch The Mandalorian?
I only watched The Mandalorian today. Yeah.
Okay. Heather tried to watch World According to Jeff Goldblum. Well, she was like, okay, it's Jeff Goldblum. I'll probably watch it tonight too. But she said the first one just didn't quite catch her interest because it was about sneakers. But other than that, I mean, she went and clicked on it because it's Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
She just didn't really want to watch it because of the content, that specific episode. So
I mean, every episode's about something completely different.
Right, so. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, especially for her, she might love the next one, but she just had no interest whatsoever in sneakers. Yeah. I guess, emotionally it wasn't about puppies and kittens, so... Yeah, I'm going to pay for all these later, so I might as well just get them all out now.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch that one. They really dropped virtually everything that Disney owns is on this almost. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's
a million things I want to watch. Even looking through like the Marvel content, I'm like, damn, they got like Spider-Man cartoons from the 80s.
There's a whole line of nothing but fucking Spider-Man cartoons.
Yeah.
I clicked on Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends. I said, this is when I was growing up. And Noah was like, when you were my age, I laughed. He's like, so it's like the first one? I'm like, relax, dude, relax. But yeah, basically. The
X-Men animated series from the 90s is on there?
Yeah. As soon as I saw that icon pop up, the theme song started in my head. I was like, are you serious? Yeah, I can't wait to watch some of that shit with him.
Willow's on there, that movie Willow, you remember?
Willow is on. I missed it. Okay, yeah, good. Now, for Star Wars, going back to Star Wars for a second, I thought I saw Rebels was on there.
Rebels is on there.
Clone Wars is on there too?
Clone Wars is on there.
Okay. We'll get into the other one here in a second. New episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Virtually all the movies.
Old shit is on there.
Except for The Last Jedi.
Speaking of the old movies, I gotta grab another beer. Speaking of the movies, apparently, I didn't see it yet, but I'm gonna go back and watch it now. A bunch of people are all over Twitter losing their shit because right before he signed over to Disney, Lucas went in and fucked with the Han and Greedo scene again. Mm. There's a scene in there where it's more different. Again. Not too much, but there's like I watched the scene. I watched the clip. Somebody uploaded the clip somewhere. And it's like where originally Han shoots first, right? And it's the whole like, I've been waiting a long time for this. I bet you have. Bang. Done, right? And then it's, been waiting a long time for this. I bet you have. And Greedo shoots and Han's head digitally moves all the way the fuck over. Then they time the shots a little bit better because that started the whole Han shot first, right? Mm-hmm. Well, now they do all of that. And right before they shoot, when he says, I've been waiting a long time for this, Han says, I bet you have. And it cuts back to Greedo, and he says something, but there's no subtitle there. And then bang. Like it's fast. It's a half a second that he says something, and then they shoot. I don't know if he's calling him a motherfucker or what. But they don't subtitle it, so... But everybody on the internet is like... So, just to be relevant on the internet.
Yeah.
There you go. Everybody's talking about that shit, apparently. So...
what else is on there?
Stop fucking with Han Shot first. Jeez.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous at this point. I don't even care anymore. Like, who cares?
I do. I do. I do, because it just takes away so much from his... That's who he was.
Well, yeah.
Because the whole Han shooting first thing is important because of later on what he becomes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He is that asshole who's going to shoot first, and he's only worried about himself, and he's worried about his own skin. Later, after he meets Leia and Luke, he learns to care more. The only thing he cared about before, 2 things, or 3 things: himself, the Falcon, and Chewie. Maybe not in that order, but mostly. I think they were all kind of like together. But that's all he gave a shit about. He had associates and stuff. That's all he cared about. It leads into what he is. So there we go. Got on another Star Wars tangent.
Yeah.
Apropos for this episode. So run through a couple of these things. I'm going to grab something to drink.
So we got Marvel side of the house. Well, so I guess before we get off Star Wars, pretty much all the Lego Star Wars movies are on there. The droid one, I forget what it's called, Droid Tales, the Yoda Chronicles, Freemaker, All Stars, all that stuff from Lego is on there. I definitely haven't seen them all, so I'll probably get around to it at some point. On the Marvel side of the house, basically all the movies up to Endgame are on there, I think. And there's a couple new things. Marvel's Hero Project.
Yeah, I didn't see that yet, but
I haven't watched
saw
it
on
either. But I think the premise of the show is something about like actually helping real people and real life superheroes or whatever. Stan Lee did a show a while ago. I can't remember the name of it, but where like he went around and tried to look for people that had like inhuman abilities.
Yeah, wasn't that like So You Want to Be a Superhero, right? I think that might even be something different.
No,
or it might be the same thing.
No, that wasn't it. So this was like I'm gonna have to look it up, but I'm not gonna look it up, and I'll just keep talking so somebody else can figure it out. Whoever's listening, yell it at me. But no, he would like. I remember there was a bunch of weird stuff, but like people that have unnatural strength and stuff like that, and they weren't trying to be superheroes. It was just kind of like looking at a real person with a real ability, and they'd like test them in like sort of a lab setting and stuff. It's Stan Lee narrated the whole thing. I can't remember what the hell it's called.
I have no idea.
Let's see what else is on there.
Maybe World of Heroes.
That might be it. I don't know.
Anyway,
the Guardians of the Galaxy animated series is on there too.
There's a bunch of shit.
There's so much. Avengers Assemble, all that Spider-Man stuff we talked about. The X-Men Evolution series, and then the 90s X-Men series. The Iron Man animated series from the 90s is on there. The Fantastic Four animated series from the 90s is on there.
There's
the Spider-Man series.
There's a whole bunch of these different
stuff. The Hulk series from the 90s is on there. Silver Surfer. It's so much.
Just go check them out.
It's crazy.
Just go check them out. It's a lot of shit.
And then everything in the Pixar umbrella is pretty much on there at this point. I don't know that there's anything new coming.
Well, they've got a couple of, like, one of the shorts is Forky Learns Something.
Oh, Forky Asks a Question, I think is what it's called.
And there's only one of them that we saw, and he was talking about money with Ham, and that was pretty funny. We watched that one this morning before Noah went to school. That was funny. So, yeah, they're going to have a handful of shit they're going to surprise you with,
Yeah.
Now, going into the upcoming shows, there's a whole bunch of this stuff that
there's a couple more
I want to see.
A couple more new ones. Sorry,
I'm trying to push you along. Go on.
No. We'll cut this episode and do the Mandalorian as a second because that way people won't have to deal with spoilers and they can.
All right. Yeah. Good idea.
But or unless you're trying to hurry up and get done.
No. You're good.
I lost my train of thought, man. There's Lady and the Tramp live action film that was originally, I think, planned to go to the theaters.
I thought it was going to the theater.
Then they dumped it to Disney Plus, so it's there now. It's on launch. Haven't watched it, of course, but
2 weeks ago, I knew it was going straight to this. Which is smart. They need to do that to compete more with Netflix.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum series.
Who the fuck we kidding? They don't need to compete with Netflix.
No, Yeah.
They competed with them when they said, you know, how much are you charging? We'll charge in half.
Yeah. There's some truth to that. Yeah, I guess we should have started with that. It's only $6.99 if you pay monthly. It was about $5.83 a month if you took the 1 year prepay.
Yeah.
If you're a Verizon customer, it was
you got
free.
It free for a year.
If you do the package, which includes Hulu and ESPN Plus, I think it was $12.99.
Yeah.
A month for a year.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then some people, they offered a 2-year deal too. I don't know if that was D23 folks or what, but that was even cheaper.
I didn't see that, but yeah.
Either way, though, your point is right. It is half of what the other, but it is a very different target audience, I feel like.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because people were saying, somebody said to me last night, you know, of course, I mentioned on the web page, or on the Facebook page, sorry, that yay, Amazon and Disney came to a deal, right? And then somebody had commented on one of the shares or something.
Was it Dante, was it?
I don't know. No, it wasn't. You know, like, oh yeah, well, Amazon had no choice. They're taking a back seat now. I'm like, no.
Amazon? No, they're not.
Dude, like, okay, Netflix has 150 million subscribers. Amazon has 100 million. Now, there are lots of people that like Disney, but that they're going to, like, give up their other streaming service for just Disney content? Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
We know how much I spend on Disney, like, going to the parks, going to the cruises, blah, blah, blah. I'm not giving up either one of those yet. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make it all work.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My tax return is going to streaming.
Cancel the cable. I think it's time for me. I'm canceling the cable.
It's going to have to be.
I think we're done.
Yep.
I got enough streaming to watch now.
Right? Yeah. Fuck.
Avatar is on there. For anybody that hasn't seen that, that's on there.
There you go. Yeah, for all three of you.
Yeah. You know, there might be some people. I don't know. All the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff is on there.
I love that.
I think all the movies are on there. I didn't actually go through and make sure. All right. I suppose that's enough. There's more things I'm forgetting. There was some original content that they dropped on launch day that I'm forgetting right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I go into a lot of that shit, but we'll leave it for people to be surprised. Go in there. Go get your subscription. Now, for the shit that's upcoming, this is the part that I'm wanting to get into because there's a little bit of speculation here that'll kind of ride out the rest of this episode. But the first thing I want to talk about is how pissed off I am because I wasn't paying attention to any of these release dates until you dropped them on our sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm mad because I got to wait until fucking 2021 to get What If. Go ahead. I'm just mad.
Oh, we'll do them in chronological.
We'll go in chronological
order. So I just jumped really the gun
because I'm mad
when we get to number 12 or whatever it is.
Yeah, thanks.
So next thing that, okay, I should preface this by saying I only listed the shit that I think John and I would care about, and there's lots more stuff coming down.
There's a whole bunch of shit.
But I was sticking to stuff that the geek audience would probably like. So the Clone Wars, John mentioned, all the current seasons are on there. I think that's up through season 6. Yep. And then there's 12 new episodes coming. That's February 2020. So that's the next
right around the corner. Happy
major geek thing. It's only a couple months away.
Mm-hmm.
Next after that is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier live action series, which will start in the fall. Oh, it's probably worth mentioning too. It seems like Disney is not going to do bulk releases on Disney Plus. All these series are one episode at a time, spaced out roughly weekly.
Yeah, they are not dropping it where you can binge.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, cool, because there's a part of me that misses the watch an episode of a show. Okay, next week you watch the next episode. But I don't know. Like, I'm torn between the two. It depends. I guess it depends on my personal schedule.
Well, personally, I would binge an entire season of a series in like 3 days.
Like, because when you asked me if I'd watched Mandalorian yet, and I was like, no, I was waiting for Heather. I'll at least get a couple episodes in. I said, I guess you've been watching it since midnight, right? And you were like, they've only dropped one episode. I'm like, oh well, all right, never mind. I'll get it done. And I did. We both did. We watched it.
Yeah. So it'll be nice for that, and it'll be. I don't know. I hate the suspense of waiting a week, but. At the same time, I feel like you get more out of it when you get to think about what happened in the episode and speculate on what's coming up next.
Digest it a little bit.
And at least for us doing a podcast in particular, I mean, having it spaced out like that gives you a lot more time to dick around with.
This might wind up
what
being where, this might wind up being where, like, I know Paul's schedule is pretty tight, but you and I may, like, get together for 30 minutes on another day and do a separate speculation episode or something. Like we were talking about doing Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm all caught up with now, I think. Yeah. I got to double check, but I'm pretty sure I caught up. I either caught up with it or I got one episode.
I still have like
I know
3
you
more seasons or something. And now with this out, it's probably going to take me like 6 months.
You're horrible.
Well, at least I'm watching others. At least I'm watching other stuff we can talk about.
This is true. True.
It's not like I'm watching Downton Abbey or something.
All right, so WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Spring 2021.
Spring 2021, yep.
Again, I got to wait to see Elizabeth
I think that
Olsen.
one could be good. I guess we'll see.
Yeah. But it leads directly into Doctor Strange and the multiverse of madness.
Yeah, and so I think what I read was that Feige is putting references to movies in these series. In fact, there was a comment made, was it by him or somebody else, saying if you don't have Disney Plus and you don't watch all these series, you're going to be missing out on connections in the storyline.
Which is
fucked
that
up.
People,
but
well, no, but this is what fans of the comics, fans of this shit, have been missing. They kept wanting it with the Netflix series, right?
Yeah.
Like, all right, something like they said, Infinity War, Endgame. Why aren't these characters involved somehow, even a nod to them? Because wouldn't they know this shit's going on? You know what I mean? So it was very, they're connected, but no, not really. So this is what fans have been wanting. So they're listening again. They're listening to fans.
I'm glad for it, but at the same time, I feel like hey, you better get Disney Plus or you're going to miss out on shit. We'll turn some people off, and they'll be like, fuck you, man. I'm not.
Yeah, then they won't even watch the
movies. I'm
quit
watching everything then.
Oh, no, I agree with you. I'm sure there'll be a handful of people like that, but most of the people that are watching the movies are already like game on. They've signed up like us.
Yeah. So Loki series is also coming out spring 2021, same time as WandaVision.
I'm looking forward to that one.
So that'll give us, actually, in 2021, we'll have 3 different series we have to try to follow at the same time with weekly releases. Yep. Because the other one that comes out is Hawkeye. That'll be fall. And that's supposed to be, at least my understanding is that's going to be about him training his daughter to become
Hawkeye,
the next Hawkeye.
Which is cool. I'm good with that because it's kind of passing the torch a little bit, and it gives something, I don't know, as much as they've tried a little bit here and there with Hawkeye, they haven't really given him a lot to do, and he has been the butt of a lot of jokes, and I like the character. I like Jeremy Renner, so for him to have his own series, I'm happy with that. At least it gives him a little bit more than, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The next one, it actually could be sooner than all of those I just mentioned, but sometime within the first 2 years is all they've said. There's going to be a Cassian Andor series for Star Wars. It's like a prequel to the Rogue One.
It's going to be him and K2SO, the robot. So it's going to be him and the robot that made the whole fucking movie.
Very little details available on that one at this point. We don't even have like a season that it's releasing.
I'm looking forward to it.
Sometime in the first 2 years. Okay. Next is the show's namesake, Marvel's What If. The animated series it'll be an anthology animated series. Every episode will be something different, obviously, just like the original comic. Yeah,
and this one, and we've spoken about it before, so I'm hoping they get away from this formula, but it's going to be 23 episodes, and each one is going to be a take on a specific MCU movie, which is fine for the first season. Yeah. But give me some of the shit out of like they just dropped, and I've been reading the first issue of Marvel Zombies Resurrection. Mm-hmm. Right? So you remember, there was a while back they did, in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, they did Marvel Zombies, right? Where there's this whole zombie plague, right? Blah blah blah, whatever. And it went on and on. It became a craze. It was really everyone was all into it, right? So there was this whole pocket thing where it was all Marvel Zombies, and they would do iconic covers with the zombies on them. It was fun. They just did it again where it's Marvel Zombies. I only read the first issue, and it's fun because obviously it's got nothing to do with anything else that's going on, but when they intro it, they don't say anything about when it is or where it is or whatever. It's just like, here's this thing that's happening, and the only even throwback to the other shit that you get is Wolverine apparently dealt with one of them before.
Uh-huh.
So he's like, when he smells them, he's like, I know this. You know, and he recognizes it, but it doesn't matter. You know, but it's a little bit of a different take on the original Marvel Zombie thing. Yeah. So it's cool if you want to check it out. It's called Marvel Zombies Resurrection. I'd love to see them do something like that. Like, do a what if, or even just an alternate, like, I don't know.
Well, Disney's not stupid, and I think we've seen in Star Wars that they've figured out a formula. If you make connections to old content that people love, they will flock to your new shit, and then you can do what you want, right? Yeah. So I think that's a little bit of what's happening here.
Yeah,
they want to try to tie this into the movies everybody loved that they made billions of dollars on,
and then blow it up,
and then they can do whatever they want.
And I'm fine with that. I think that'll be awesome.
I hope that's how it turns out. Anyway,
I do.
Because they wouldn't be able to keep up, to be honest with you.
No.
24 episodes. I mean, you can do that now.
The
when you've
movies
got
won't keep up
30,
with the show.
That's what I mean. You got 30 movies right now, so you can do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, come next year when it's time for another 20-something episodes, what the fuck are you going to do?
Right, yeah. So
play
around with
other alternate stories on those same movies?
Stupid.
I hope they don't do that.
No.
I hope they don't. I think they got to bring some other stuff out.
But again, like always, you know, tell a good story and I'll come to it. Because on the note of what if, there was also, I know I mentioned one time before, and I would love to see them make a show of it. I'll even throw a pitch out there. There's a X-Men comic called Exiles, and there's like a handful of X-Men from alternate realities that are pulled together because, long story short, there's little breaks in reality in different, along the multiverse, right? Different Earths that they have to go and correct. So there are these time brokers that kind of like control time, and they see all these little breaks all over the multiverse, and they pull these representatives from different planets. So you got like Blink from one, you got Morph from another, Sabretooth is another one, blah, 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 whatever. And they're like, okay, you got to go fix these things. And if one of them happens to die or whatever, then another person takes their place from another reality, you know? And they bounce from
the same person from a different.
No, like a completely different hero, like whatever, will just show up.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I'm your new team member, apparently. Sorry, you know, whatever. Hi, and they get the same briefing. Okay, time is broken. We need to fix it, and boom, done.
It's almost cheap because you just get to like kill people off so easy. Like,
yeah, they know
they
do. When they get tired of when one writer got tired of writing somebody, they're like, "F it, kill him," and they get somebody else in there. But they did this thing where it's kind of like X-Men and What If meet Quantum Leap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or Sliders. Sliders was the old show with Jerry O'Connell. That one, where they kind of go from alternate Earth to alternate Earth, not timelines. They do go across time as well, but it was alternate Earth to alternate Earth, and it was a lot of fun. I'd like to see them do an animated show like that. So if you got What If, do an Exile show.
Huh. We'll see what they do.
There you go, Marvel. Go get it.
So what if the animated series will show up on Disney Plus summer of 2021? We don't have a specific date yet. I threw this on here. This is actually going back in time now. I said I was going to do this chronologically, and I fucked it up. But there's a documentary series that's supposed to be out within the first year of launch. It's going to be called Marvel's 616. We were just talking about alternate universes. This isn't about alternate universes. It's, of course, a reference to Earth 616. But this will be an anthology documentary that like examines like where characters and stories like came from in the real world, like what the inspiration was for the characters and the stories. I think it could be really cool. I hope it is anyway. A lot of people, myself included, are into, where does this stuff come from? Where did they get the inspiration? And,
sure.
We'll probably talk about some of that Mandalorian review. But,
right, yeah.
But yeah, I think it could be really neat. So that'll be sometime in the first year. The Kenobi series launch date hasn't been announced yet. They did announce that they were going to start filming in summer of next year. Right. So it's a series, not a movie. I'm not sure what the timeline is, but I think we probably expect late 2021, maybe early 2022.
Yeah, but you get Ewan McGregor in there. He's the perfect age to play in between when the twins are born and when Obi-Wan runs into Luke later. It's a perfect one. And if you don't get Darth Vader in the series, you're stupid.
Yeah,
So.
I'm almost more excited about this than The Mandalorian, although, well, I would have said that yesterday, but then I watched The Mandalorian today, and I'm not actually sure that's true anymore, but I love Kenobi, he's one of my favorites, so.
Oh, yeah. Somebody might have been dressed as him on Halloween. I don't know.
Somebody might have been. Miss Marvel, also no announcement date yet. That I think starts shooting at the end of next year, so it's probably going to be a ways out. They haven't even announced who's in it, who's directing, nothing. Just that they're doing it.
Right.
And then the last one I had on the list was She-Hulk.
And
also no details.
We don't know if it's live action or anything. Yeah, nothing
about it.
That's cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, breaking news. There's going to be a Squirrel Girl and the Great Lakes Avengers. I'm kidding. Actually, you know what? Don't tempt fate. I'm pretty sure they're going to come out with something like that.
We got this covered. They're gonna have that on their article tomorrow. You watch.
Give it 5 seconds.
Sources say
Squirrel Girl is coming. That's going to get taken out of context real quick. So, yeah, all right. So, there's a lot to look forward to. We've literally just...
Yeah, we just scratched the surface, quite literally.
Yeah, just today, playing around with it a little bit. I know once we get done, I put Noah to bed, I'm going to be back on there for another couple hours. Getting up tomorrow morning to take the kids to school, no, I don't have to take the kids to school tomorrow. I'm taking Heather to a follow-up. So I get to sleep in a little bit. It's going to be a pain in the ass getting up to go do anything tomorrow because I know I'm going to want to be up late tonight.
Probably, yeah. I at first heard the launch was going to be at 3 a.m. I told Becca I might just stay up for it.
I heard midnight.
And then I realized when I went back and looked at the thing, it was 3 a.m. Pacific time. I'm like, oh shit, that's 6 o'clock in the morning. There's no reason to stay up for that. So I didn't, of course, but... Anything else? Anything else you want to cover on Disney Plus? I mean,
no, I think we should.
There's so much to watch here.
Short,
we got so much to
42-minute episode. We're perfect. Yeah. Let's just cut it because, for God's sake,
yeah.
Let's jump into the Mandalorian. Literally, Paul just texted us so we can read this. I can go check on Noah and his homework and check on my wife and see if she's like laid up again. But we will come back here and we will record the next episode. And we will talk about The Mandalorian in depth.
And we might get Paul on the phone? Is that what's going to happen?
I don't know. He texted us. Let's try to figure this shit out. Let me go check on my kid and find out what's going on.
Okay, so we are going to do a Mandalorian review. Don't miss it.
Yep. Check out the Disney Plus app. Dude, if you're not on it, you are way behind already. It's awesome already. So looking forward to it. If you are on it, let us know what your favorite part has been already for the one day that's been out. Hit us up, whatifgeeks.com, whatifgeeks at gmail.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that happy shit. And that's it. We'll talk to you later. Good night, Tony.
Good night, Paul.